طيب يا شباب, we are continuing with what we have done in the last lecture in finding, in the block diagram reduction, in which we said we will be doing an example. In this example, we would like to find the output C of S over R of S by a block diagram reduction. Okay, so this is the same example which we have done last time. We will continue with the example and we will continue with more examples. Okay, and if we have time, we will be using MATLAB to, help us in the block diagram reduction. Okay, but let's start with this example again. In the last lecture, we have said, let's focus first of all in this loop. Do you agree? So if
is there a problem if we focus in the beginning, for example?
Say that again, Abdurrahman.
يعني الحين أنا قاعد أفكر ليش ما ناخذ ال V4S اللي هي coming to H1 of S and goes to the يعني the first feedback loop.
The first feedback, this one?
Yes, this one. ناخذ ال H1 of S يعني مثلا ال H1 of S, we have an input for V4 of S coming to H1 of S goes as V6 of S and going back.
بس المشكلة اللي بيه عبد الرحمن, المشكلة باللوب هذه, this point. You have to disconnect. الحين هذه ما هو part of يعني أنت look, you start from V1, let's say, all the way, okay, and coming here, coming this way, okay. بس عندك هنا يعني after you move, it will go up. And also there is internal loop. So first of all, Abdurrahman, usually Abdurrahman, you start from internal loop and go to the external. The external loop, you put it at the end.
جميل.
What I'm saying, I mean, look, to start with, okay, let's agree in one thing. To start with, we are solving a set of simultaneous, okay, algebraic equation. So you could start in different way, okay, but ultimately we should have the same answer. Some methods are easier because what you said, it is not quite feedback because of this one, because what I have in here, I have to modify this one. Moreover, this is, okay, I have an inner loop, so I have to get rid of the inner loop before I will go to the outer loop. But again, maybe you could be right. I don't know. You can solve it, but it will become a little bit more complicated. Okay. So let me in here the signal to V5. Let's say this is V5. Okay. Let me break this one into two. This is V4. And this is the signal coming from V3, okay, and G3, H3 in here, C3, C of S. So basically what I have done, I have in here, look, for V5, how many signals I have coming? I have V4 plus V3, V8. V5 equal to V3 plus V4 minus V8. What I'm saying, let me combine V3 and V4 together, okay, in here, and then subtract V8. Do you agree? Did I do anything wrong?
No, you did not do anything
Doctor.
wrong.
So now,
Excuse me, Doctor.
Yes.
V2 and V4. What did the other cipher come from? Sorry, I didn't get it.
Say that again. No, sorry. This is V3. Okay, this is V3 and this is V4. This is V4. It's coming to this. Okay, take V5 in here. Look at V5. What is V5 equal to? It's equal to V4 plus V3 coming from minus V8. This is what I put. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay, now what I am saying, let me do it differently. Let me call V3 plus V4, let's say Vx minus V8. Can I do that? I'm adding V3 and V4 together and then add them to minus to V8. Did I do anything wrong?
No.
Okay, but it simplifies my life. So now I have a feedback loop in here. What is the gain for this feedback? Let me reduce the feedback into one block. What is that block will be?
1/1 plus G3H3.
شباب, just one second. What do I have? Okay, it's going to be okay, G3 over what?
1 plus G3H3.
1 plus G3H3. So I can reduce this portion into a single block. Okay, so suppose I reduce this one. That would fine. Let me work in here. I said when Abdurrahman proposed the outer loop, I said there is a problem in here. Let me resolve this issue. Okay, we said V5 equal V3 plus V4. Okay, so let me now change this one and make it in this shape, in this place. This is G2. The signal in here. Okay. Oh, sorry. The signal in here, rather than tapping from this point, let me tap from V4 itself. Okay. Okay. So this is V4 as is. And this is Vx. So what do I have to put in here? I need V3. I need V3 at this point.
1 over G2.
Okay.
One over
Look, this is V3. So I need in here the effect of V3. So what do I have to do for this block?
V4 over G2.
Okay, it is 1 over G2. Okay, so basically this is what I am, okay. So this is basically what I'm saying. I have 1 over G2 in here.
Sir, why did we do that?
Why do I do that? Because as I said, I need to, simplify in here, because in here, having this point in here, having this pickup point in this point, I cannot reduce this one. This is not feedback, and the outer is not feedback either. Let me try to make it a feedback. So rather than taking my signal V3, rather than take it from here, let me take it from this point. Is there any problem? If I want to take V3 from here, what do I have to do? If I take it from here, it means that I multiply by G2. So what do I have to do? I have to divide by G2 so that I will keep V3 as is.
Clear, Doctor.
Okay, so this is what I have. Now tell me, what does this part will look like?
Positive feedback.
It's going to be what?
Positive feedback.
No. Okay.
Submission maybe.
No, wait. Look, should distinguish between feed forward and feedback. Look, the block diagram, it has arrows. Okay, it has arrows. So the signal is coming from here, going this way to the output. Look, this is the direction of the arrow. And this is the direction of the arrow. I'm adding two signals together. So that will be what? If it is feedback, the arrow should go in the other direction. The arrow from the output, and you are feeding back to the input. What I'm doing, I am feeding from the input to the output. So it is going to be what we call parallel, okay, parallel combination.
Yes, between V4 and V4 multiplied by 1 over G2.
Exactly. So if you take the signal from here, this signal from here, it will go directly and will go through the other path. So if it is parallel combination, what is the
Summation.
what is the how do I reduce this portion? It will be what?
1 plus 1 over
It will be
G2.
1 over G2 plus 1.
Yeah, unity طبعا 1 because it's coming with a unity gain.
So look, this is the gain in here 1, and this is 1 over G2. Do you agree now?
No, it looks like.
Okay. Again, okay. So basically what I have, we have 1 plus 1 over G2 times G3. What was G3? Was G3? Yes. G3 over 1 plus G3 H3. Again, in here, I could do it differently. What I'm going to do it in a way, and in the slide, it's little bit done little bit differently. But suppose, okay, now what will happen to this loop now, the inner loop?
Just like the final loop.
Okay, it is a feedback loop.
دكتور
Yes.
معلش بس ال 1 plus 1 over G2 ما فهمتها.
Okay, let me erase in here. Okay, suppose I need the signal at this point. Call it point W. What is W in terms of V4? What's W equal in terms of V4? The signal.
V4 plus V4 over G2.
V4 plus 1 over G4 V4, which is equal to what? 1 plus 1 over G4
Yes.
V4. So it's a parallel. The parallel, you add them together. Okay. So my block will look like, this is R. Okay. This is what? G1. Okay. And there is a loop in here. This is G2. Okay. H2 minus. This, sorry, here I have H1.
Doctor, if we stuck at a point, we determine 2 points that we want to reduce the blocks between them, and we find the transfer function between the 2 points, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, plus this is 1 over G2. We said plus 1 times the last one, which is G3 1 plus G3H3 C. What is this one will be reduced to?
G2 over 1 plus G2 H2.
G2 over 1 plus G2 H2.
And then you multiply it by G1, then you do again the feedback.
So this will, you know, if you
كيف
combine
معلش دكتور
together,
G2 over H2 تحت؟
this is okay, this is H2. This is H1, sorry.
لا هنا دكتور G2 over 1 plus G2 H2 ولا G2 over H2؟
Sorry, no, you are right. And no, H2. Thank you. Definitely. Okay. So now I will have G1. This block now will be G1. Okay. G1 times what? G2 over 1 plus G2 H2 over 1 plus G1 G2. Okay. 1 plus G2 H2 times H1.
H1. Yes.
Okay. This is what we have. The overall transfer function will be what? This block times this block times the third block. So I have 3 blocks. Multiply them, okay, and you will get your transfer function. That's basically, this is what I mean. After
You do it spontaneously.
yes. So 1, 2, 3. And the overall transfer function will be, this is the overall transfer function. I have 1 block. So the question at the beginning said find T. So T equal to this transfer function.
دكتور
تفضل.
ترانسفير فانكشن اذا كانت معقده زي كذا يعني ممكن تشرح حاجه مثل ايش يعني؟
عندنا many processes together. مثلا بالهوم ورك ان شاء الله الثاني you have a motor driving a generator or a generator driving a motor. One transfer function for the motor, for the generator, because look, in the motor, what do you need? You need magnetic field, isn't it? The magnetic is coming from a voltage source. So suppose your voltage source is a generator, it's feeding the armature, okay? And then you have a load. In the load, you have a gear, okay? I mean, the motor is going to the gear, to the load. So how many systems you have?
3 systems.
Tell me how many? Huh?
3 systems at least.
3 systems at least. You have the generator, which will generate voltage. The voltage will be converted through the motor into an angle.
Exactly.
And the torque, or the angle and the speed. You don't use them directly in the load. You put them through a gearbox. Okay. So that will be another system. So how many? Now you have more than 1 block. Okay. This is one example. Maybe you have, you know, if you go to any of the refinery, have you been in the refineries? Or did you see the refineries?
Coming summer, inshallah.
You know? If you see the column, they are very complicated. Okay, so those blocks, I mean, look, whenever we are doing anything, it is not, we are just, you know, this course, even though it is full of mathematics, but it has a meaning. It is not, we are, you know, doing this for the sake of, you know, I mean, complicate your life. No, it has a meaning, okay? It has application. It has an application. The electrical engineering is nothing more than application of the mathematics which we have, mathematics and physics. Put them together, you will get, you will go to the electrical engineering. Okay?
Doctor, 2 questions here I have. Allow me.
Sure.
One, for the system that you have shown us, can you ask us, example, this is a typical question that you give us 1 transfer function or 1 block and you ask us to break it down?
No, no. The question is no. It is, you know, you have many blocks.
Yeah.
and
And
get
it's not the other way around. Really.
no. Look, as I said, I mean, unless I don't know, this is very specific. Maybe in certain project you want to figure out, for example, maybe when you do partial fraction in the transfer function, how do you do partial fraction? Okay, suppose you have.
Yes.
Suppose you have. Okay, look. Suppose I have s plus 3 over s squared plus 1, let's say, times s plus 2. Okay. How do you get the? How do you go to the time domain? What do you do?
You have to use partial fractions.
So basically, you'll have a over, let's say, s plus. Sorry. A over s plus 2, let's say.
Yeah. Plus bs plus d.
Plus
No,
1.
b
Or
bs
maybe you have
bs
another.
bs plus d in the numerator.
Okay, you could. Okay.
To be
Plus. Okay. Bs. What you are saying? Plus c.
d or c, whatever.
D or whatever. So basically, look, this could be, you could think about it as a system, and this is another system. Is that what you are saying? You could, but you know, yeah, I mean,
And I guess the electoral process, if we do the reverse process, I think it will be very, very sophisticated.
no, there is, I don't, look, it's going forward, it's not unique. So imagine you want to break it.
Yes. Another question, Doctor.
Totally.
What is the typical scenario that we can face that can indicate that we shouldn't go further in terms of simplification, or we cannot go further, in fact? Yani, can we have a certain scenario in which the simplification or the reduction of boxes is impossible if we have a linear system?
Let me ask you, do you play Sudoku? You know what Sudoku?
Yes, of course. I really like it.
You play Sudoku?
Yes.
There is easy one, medium,
expert, yeah,
impossible. So it is the same situation. You cannot, okay. You can, well, what we are going to do, however, look, we are going to do, maybe by next lecture, another approach to find the overall transfer function called signal flow graph. And we will be using what we call Mason's rule. Mason's rule, no, it has a set of, systematic way.
I see now.
Okay, we will do that, but it is an alternative way. But, we will give you more than one option. Okay? Okay, shall we move?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, now let's take another example. Suppose I have this example, and I would like to obtain the transfer function for the system. I would like to find y of s over u of s. Okay, as I said again, the approach is not unique. You could do it differently. I can state two approaches, and I will use one. But let me, before I start, any suggestion? How do we move?
طبعا احنا عندنا هذه مسوي لنا مشكله H1 يا دكتور.
H1 مسويت لك مشكله.
فعندنا البلس اللي هو احنا عنده we have three signals after G1, so we can just break it to two circles and we figure out يعني.
Okay, so let me suggest one suggestion. I'm not going to use it, but it's a suggestion. I will use the other one. Suppose الهدك هذا اللي يتكلم عنه عبد الرحمن. Okay, eliminate this one. Okay, and feeding not from this point. Let me feed from this point.
Changing the feed, yeah. So we divide by 1 over G3.
So basically 1 over G3, and then what will happen? So we'll have a loop up, isn't it? Do you agree?
Yes, salam.
And then bingo, it's easy. خلاص. Once you تفك الارتباط هذا, that's it.
هذه المصيبة يعني.
دكتور
كيف؟
ليه ديفايد دكتور؟
مو multiply.
Because look, I am feeding y, and let me start from this point. Y, okay. At this point, this is y, but I'm feeding from this point. What is this point equal to?
Y over G of 3.
Y over G3. So I have to divide by G3.
مو multiply عشان تصير Y.
No, you divide by G3. You divide. Sorry, wait. Yeah, no. Just no, you are right. No, I'm feeding from this point. I'm feeding from this point.
هذه لو افترضنا x يا دكتور، خلينا نقول x. ال y will be x multiplied by G3.
This is just 1 second. This is basically x. This is x. Okay, I need at this point. What do I need? Yes, you are right. No, we multiply by we multiply by yes, we multiply by G3 because فعلا G3 هنا I should keep the signal in here. It should have the G3. So this is G3. You are right. Thank you. Sorry, it is G3. Take this signal فعلا. Suppose this signal X, and I'm feeding this signal back. So through this path. So if I multiply by G3 and okay, and feed it back. This is one approach. Let me use another one. Suppose I keep that one, and let me now, okay, change this one now. I'm having problem. Okay, now let me erase this one.
You want to put it at G1 after G1.
With my pen, and let me eliminate this one and feed it from here. Take it from here. In that case, what do I have to do?
1 over G3.
Now it's 1 over G3. Okay. Now look, what is this one will look like?
Negative feedback loop.
Feedback loop, which is, what is the gain of that feedback loop?
G1
multiplied by G3.
G2
multiplied by G3 1
over
1 plus G2 G3
H1. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm said. And this is the reduction. Let me combine H2 and 1 over G3. They are in series. We'll just combine them.
Excuse me, Doctor.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? 1 over G3 كيف
اطلع هنا. Okay. I am feeding from this point. Originally, I'm feeding from this point. In this point, in the gain, there is no G3. Isn't it? I'm feeding from G2 and back. What I'm saying, let me use this point rather than this one. Change this connection and put it in here. So the signal is going to be multiplied by G3. I have to negate the effect of G3. I need a unit because in here there's no multiplication, isn't it? It's a unity. It's 1.
Okay, now I get it.
Okay. So this is what we have. So what's the overall transfer function will be?
واضح جدا.
G1 over G2 G3 1 plus G2 G3 H1 over 1 plus G1 G2 G3 over 1 plus G2 G3 H1 multiplied by H2 over G3 and then simplify. This is your transfer function.
And the whole trick, Doctor, in this question and the previous question is just to change the feedback and from where you take the feedback.
And this exactly, it's always the case. It's always, if you move one point, then the other will follow. Again, go to the Sudoku case. Sometimes, it changes everything.
Yes, right. One maybe square, if you solve it, that's it.
Exactly. And the other will, fall one after the other. Maybe sometimes you get stuck again. Okay. You get stuck again, but generally speaking, it will simplify. So the catch, yes, the catch is to figure out the first one, which one you will do. But again, as I said, this is an approach when we go to what we call signal flow graph. The signal flow graph, it's systematic. Definitely, I mean, there is no free lunch, as they say. In each method, there is, advantage and disadvantage. Okay. So, this is, in here, we will use one approach. In the signal flow graph, we will be talking about different approach for the same problem. Any other question before we move into another example, as I said? But in the other example which we are going to use, exact transfer function. Okay. Okay. Let me now.
Doctor, exact you mean write it 1 over s plus 2 like that?
كيف؟
exact قصدك s terms يعني او
exactly. If you just wait, if you bear with me 1 second, I will bear with you. Let me share. Stop sharing, okay? And let me share. Okay. Now, what we want to say, as I said at the beginning of the lecture, we will have more examples, and we will be using now, if we have time today, we will be using the MATLAB command to, help us in reducing the solution, in finding the solution. Okay, so let us have, let's have this example. Now we have, rather than G and H, we have precisely 1 over S, 1 over S plus 3, and so on. So, the exact transfer function. We know what are the component of the transfer function. The question is, how many inputs I have in here?
Oh.
How many inputs? 2 inputs.
2 inputs, yeah.
And 1 output. Okay. So ultimately, if I want to find y over r and x, r over x, basically, I will use ultimately superposition. And what does superposition mean?
make 1 0
0 and
Yes,
find
we assume one of them 0 and find y. Let's say assume x equal to 0 and find r to y, y to r, and later on assume r to be 0 and get y over x. X could be, could be disturbance or could be another input. For example, you have a circuit where you have a voltage source and current source. Okay, or sometimes we have disturbances. Now, I would like to start. Let me simplify before I will go to the superposition. So where do you think we can start?
From the feedback, the left.
Feedback to the left. Where is the feedback? Yeah, the feedback to the left. Yes, you are absolutely right. So basically what you are saying, let me focus my attention in this square block. Okay, and let me rewrite those little bit differently. Again, I have an algebra. This is algebraic equations. Assume this is E. Okay. And what is this? Okay. Let me break this into simpler way. Simplify it a little bit. Let's have R. Okay. Of S, of course. And let me break this one into 2. And you keep this is E. One of them, 1 over S plus 1. Okay. This is X of S plus 1 over S and Y. Now, in here, let me break this one also into any problem in this breaking?
Doctor, what's the difference between the two circles?
Wait. Let me, this is not from here. Just 1 second. Okay.
Before 1 over S.
Just 1 second. Okay, let me, this is minus. This is basically what I mean. Okay. Is there any problem in this breakup?
دكتور ليش الواي راح على الار بس؟
ليش الواي okay. Let's
Unity gain.
go to the original. Okay, as I said, this is E. Okay. Now let's look at E in here. The signal. Let's trace E. What's E equal to? Can you tell me?
-2 minus 1 over
First
S.
of all, it's R, isn't it? R minus what? The signal
-2 over
the signal
S plus 1.
is -2. Let's say this is minus Y. Do you agree?
Yes. With W is 1 over S plus 1 phi E.
Okay. So what I'm saying, let me put E in here and I add. So what's E in this diagram? What's E in this diagram? E equal to the R again minus Y minus 2W. Isn't it? Look,
Yes.
this is addition and this is addition. Play with those addition, break them. Add 2 at a time. Add 2 at a time. Do you agree?
Yes.
Then what is this block will be then? If you agree on this.
خلاص هذه clear.
خلاص وبالضبط يعني this is the catch. So what is?
طيب دكتور انا قاعد افكر انه الحين لو حطينا الدبليو هذه اللي حطيتها بعد ال 1 اوفر اس بلس 1 ممتاز. And then we find الدبليو.
No, let's reduce this feedback block.
تمام.
The gain of the feedback block is going to be. I want to reduce it into 1 block.
It will be 2 multiply 1 over S plus 1.
1 over S plus 1 over 1 plus
1 plus the multiplication
times 1 over S plus 1, which is equal to 1 over S plus 3.
Yes. طيب دكتور.
Yes.
الحين لو حطينا W just to see يعني what you have done. And then we find the W over E between the W and E.
Okay.
You know, and then it will give us maybe 1 over S plus 3.
No, look, if you do that, this is what you are going to have. Now, very simple.
خلاص.
Now let me find, okay, set x to be 0, use the superposition. So y over r, what does it equal to?
It's a negative feedback
It's 1
again.
of s multiplied
Or
by 1 of s plus
the-
3 plus
okay, 1 over s plus 3 times 1 over s. This is the direct
and then you take over 1 plus
unity feedback. Okay, 1 plus negative, this is here, 1 over s plus 3 times 1 over s, which is equal, simplify, is going to be 1 over s squared plus 3s plus 1. Any question here? Any question here, Shabab?
just clear.
Okay, now let me assume, okay, let me assume r to be 0 and find I need y over x. What is y over x? What does this equal to? يا شباب.
طبعا you can get يعني you have many choices. Either you take x of s before the 1 over s plus 3 and you it will be the same يعني. Or you take y of s and you multiply it by and you solve it in a algebraic way.
Not algebra. This is loop. Let me rewrite it to you. And you will see.
Rewrite it was better.
Suppose, okay, suppose, let me call this is my x. And this is coming through the addition, through the adder.
Yeah. So it will be multiplied by s plus 3.
1 over s, and this is y. Do you agree? Now, y is fed back to this point, isn't it? I need the other point. So it will come in here. This is 0. So as if I'm multiplying 1 over s plus 3 by minus 1, or I'm taking this minus and put it in here. So it's going to be minus Can you do it now? What's y to x equal to? شباب.
خلاص يعني
1 over f
1 over s over
1
times. You can do it directly without this shape. So it's going to be, well, if you simplify, this is going to be s squared, sorry, plus 3s plus 1. However, in numerator, I will have s plus 3. You could do it directly. Look, this is 0. So the direct gain, this is the direct path. So we said the transfer function is going to be the direct path over 1 plus the loop gain. What is the loop gain? We did not change the loop. R becomes 0, but the loop, we did not change it. The loop remained the same. Okay? The loop will remain the same. We did not change the loop. Any question here? Is there any question? Okay. So this is basically what I'm saying. Any question here before we proceed?
Will we take another example, Doctor?
If
will there be more examples or not?
For example, لا خلاص يعني لا زودها علينا. يعني you can read it. This is a representation to what we want to do.
You said we will take another method, I think, like systematic
No,
way.
we will, as I said, there will be an alternative method. It's called signal flow graph. But sometimes you are required to do it in certain way. Okay, let's say use block diagram reduction method to find transfer function. You cannot use, Mason's rule, for example. If the other one is different and it's systematic. You don't have to think which point I have to change. But of course, as I said, there will be, again, certain complication as well. But usually it is better because, for sure, to make sure that you understand the concept, okay, we will, for example, in the quizzes, we'll try to specify the method which you use the rules, okay? Any other question? Any other question? Okay, let's move. By the way, I think next lecture we will have the quiz. Next lecture, usually it will be in the at the end of the lecture, so it's about 15 minutes. We will try at 10:35. We'll stop. Okay, and we will be using. By the way, the quiz will be in the Blackboard platform, so you have to be. You will be in Zoom as well on the Blackboard. So I don't know how you have to do it. You have to make sure that you are familiar how to do it. I'm sure you have done it so many times. So the quiz will be using the Blackboard, and definitely, you need to have the side camera so that the exam will be fair, or the quiz will be fair for everybody. Okay.
Doctor, will we need to upload something?
No, you don't upload. No, it is just because the quiz will be multiple choice, so you don't have to. I have done it once, but upload. I don't know. Tell me, is it easy to make? Once maybe at the beginning, when we started, not last semester, the semester before last, second semester, last year, when we used once upload, but it is becoming awful. Many of you have. Many of the students at that time, they struggle in uploading, and so I think we will.
Maybe, Doctor, for the perfect credit, I mean, if one gets a mistake, he can get some points.
Look, what we try to do in here, I try to give more than in the quiz, for example, 3 questions. So if you لا سمح الله اخطأت في واحد, على الأقل عندك you have the other. It's not 0 or 10. No, I don't want to do it in that way. It's unfair because sometimes a silly mistake can affect. But also at the same time, you don't want to make the question just put your name and which section your ID. No, this is not. So something reasonable, something which will hopefully help all of us. Okay. So we will have more than 1 question, so at least as the grade will be distributed. Okay, but unfortunately, in the multiple choice, there is no partial. But in the multiple choice, some of those GRE exams and other, what the GRE exam? They call it graduate record examination. This is after you finish your BS, if you want to go to graduate school. And some of the exams, I'm not sure if it's GRE or some other. When you have multiple choice, if you do a mistake, you will get negative. Not not only 0, they penalize you more. Okay. So anyway, we are not doing it in here. Okay. Okay, Shabab. Thank you, and we'll see you on Thursday unless you have other questions.
Doctor.
Over.
في مثلا يعني لو كان السيستم معقد شوي، هل في مثلا زي التبس انه بايش نبدا او